Hi guys, welcome to Resource Management 2021. I am Mr. Free to Play and this is my flagship series. Now obviously some of you guys clicked on this just because of the thumbnail saying farm guides are trash. One of the most common questions I get asked in my Discord and in the comment sections of YouTube videos is why don't I have a farm guide, or do I have a farm guide? And I always have to explain that no, I don't have a farm guide and I don't believe in farm guides. Farm guides like this one are trash. And the answer is simple. They are not efficient or point you in the right direction. They have you build up tunes that actually don't move you further, and you actually get sent backwards instead of moving forward. Now, after the intro, I will get into more of what Resource Management 2021 is all about and why the only series you need to follow or pick up at any given point is Resource Management 2021 for any new mid-game players on your way to the end game of Marvel Strike Force. And yes, you can do this no matter if you're a spender or free to play. Trust me, this series does not discriminate. So guys, if you're ready for it, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. First off, what is resource management? Guys, this is my rating system of how useful a character is in unlocking content and gaining sustainable resources. And I will get into more of this detail later on in the video, but first I need to describe of exactly how characters are rated. Now before I do that, I need to do disclaimer time. You're going to see this pop up on a majority of videos, especially when there's a list involved, is that it is not based on being a free-to-play player. It is based on a character and how useful they are. It doesn't matter how you attain them or how you get them. A lot of people with farm guides, going back to the farm guide thing, will assume you can only get a character that you can farm in a node or another store. That is absolutely false, because you're going to be getting milestone orbs. They'll be giving you a mega orb somewhere in the beginning, like 7-10 days. You're going to be opening up premium orbs. You're going to be getting orbs from Greek raids and any other events that are going on. So assuming that the only characters you're going to be able to unlock are the ones in nodes or stores that you can participate in is absolutely false. And my series will help you with the RNG of the game of you unlocking a character in an untimely fashion. Let's kick this off on how a character is rated. Now there are several game modes that a character rates in. I'm going to rank these from high to low for me of where I feel a character's value is escalated. First, we're going to start with challenges. Yes, this is a way of you getting daily resources. The further you can progress in these challenges, the more daily resources you get on a, daily basis. And that's why for me that I rank challenges as the premier content you need to clear in this game. Now in the future, when I cover challenges, I will be covering data that I've collected from the community of characters that are efficient for clearing challenges at the highest tier. The characters that show up the most obviously get the higher ranking points. The characters don't show up at all, they get nada. Moving on. Next up, do they unlock a legendary? This is the second thing that I put the most weight on, because there are 3 legendaries in this game that I feel every new player needs to beeline for. The first one is Black Bolt, and then 2 or 3, doesn't matter the order, you want to try to get them both, Phoenix and Ebony Maw. All the other legendaries in this game currently, and I think Doc Ock, we're gonna get a lot more information on once more players unlock him in the near future. But all the legendaries you don't have to beeline for. They will not make or break your game. Side note on Shuri, I do believe she is probably the 4th biggest legendary you want to get, basically because of Chaos Theory, and I will cover Red Stars in a future video. But yeah, she's probably number 4 on the list. The next thing characters can score points for is, are they useful in U7? This is me taking a look at most common U7 teams in the game. Once again, it's another thing that I go out to the community for, do research, collect information. Who are people using at the highest difficulty of U7? The more teams a character shows up on, obviously the more points they're worth in this category. If a character doesn't show up at all, it is 0 points. Simple as that. And yes, sometime in the future, I will cover U7 raid teams to help you guys out of who you should be building for U7. Next up, are they Dark Dimension efficient? Now currently the data I'm going to use for Dark Dimension is Dark Dimension 3 based. Dark Dimension 4 will eventually be substituted in, and Dark Dimension 3 will be substituted out once more people clear Dark Dimension 4. Right now we just don't have enough data for me to say, yes, that's an obvious choice. Some things are looking obvious right now, but I would like to see 100 people clear the time challenge. That way data is a little bit more efficient, because one thing I'm finding about Dark Dimension 3 is that the initial data we were told about it is no longer holding true almost a year later. So when it comes to Dark Dimension, what do I look at? I look at, for global, nodes 7 and 8. Who are people one-shotting with? For cosmic, it's nodes 11 and 12. And for city, it's nodes 15 and 16. Who are people one-shotting with? So there's 20 different points of data for each one of those categories, and that helps me determine which characters are actually efficient, as efficient means be able to clear the content as effectively as possible. And I will get into more Dark Dimension later when I actually cover Dark Dimension in its own separate video, but I do want to make one thing clear in this video. Just because I cover someone as being efficient does not mean you can't rank up another character. I'm just covering the characters that will help you get through this as quickly as possible. Next thing that characters are rated on is number of campaigns they can be used for. Now, when it comes to the hero and villains campaign and the Nexus campaign, those things just nullify each other out because every character is either a hero or a villain, and the Nexus campaign doesn't take any requirements. Now, when you do get to the later chapters like Chapter 7 and Heroes and Villains, and those filters are factored in, and Nexus Chapter 8, those filters are factored in. And there will be a separate video. I will probably bring out campaign guides, which is another video I did for Resource Management 101 about 6 months ago. I'm going to redo that same video again, updating his information, because since then we've gotten ISO 8, we've gotten Doom War, and I'm not quite sure if we gotten all the chapters, the heroes, villains, and Nexus chapters. In that last video, it's been a while since I made it, so I can't remember when those things came out, but I do have all the information updated, and yes, there has been some changes. Next thing. Arena, yes. In Resource Management 101, I did not include Arena. It's not the only game mode I didn't include, but I'm going to cover that a little bit later. I have started giving points to Arena, but I do rank this as the lowest. Because yes, this game mode does give you resources, but it's also a meta that constantly changes. And I know people are going to say, well, Black Order's been around for a while, so it hasn't really changed. It's only a matter of time before Black Order is no longer the viable option. There was a time not that long ago where the X-Men Phoenix team was the Apex Arena team. Now granted, Black Order has probably held on to that title longer than what that team did, but I'm just saying, resource management is about being effective with your resources to help you get to the end game. It's not about trying to stay current in the meta, as a lot of the characters that will help you in achieving other contents can be used in Arena and get you a good placement. It may not give you the top placement, but it will give you a good placement. So for this one, what I basically looked at, it was the top 100 Arena teams, and each time a character was shown up, they scored a point for it. Basically, that's how it worked out. Now there is modifiers to the points, so guys, I'm not going to cover how I factor everything right now. Maybe sometime down the road I will, but there's still some things in a work in progress. This is the first time I'm actually showing you guys the actual physical scores that I give into characters. And until I've actually in dead set that this is absolutely the best system I can come up with, I'm just not going to share that until I'm to that point. Monthly events are factored into how useful a character is. Now, unfortunately, I don't really score this one very high, mainly because of how difficult and how frequently this event shows up. Now, currently, I don't rank Chaos Theory any higher than the other ones when it comes to scoring characters, even though I feel like Chaos Theory is a almost must for every player in this game. But for now, I'm going to leave that one with Tails, so you know that is another thing that factors into scoring characters and how valuable they are. Now that is all the different content in the game that scores points to how efficient a character is. So now, what is not included in this scoring? In case you guys haven't figured it out yet, it is War and Real-Time Arena. Real-Time Arena is left off. I don't know where to place this one yet. Is it ever going to get a ranking efficient character? I don't know. Only time will tell once we see this game mode stabilized. Right now it's not stabilized, and right now it is completely random. There are characters that seem to do well for the community, like Phoenix. I'm not going to throw too many out there because some are very, very subjective. They're actually useful for this. They're actually useful for this game mode, or makes this game mode friendly to the player base. So I'm leaving it there. Now War, I do want to talk about War because War is where I get the most comments. In the videos I do in resource management, the number one feedback I always get, and you know, I tell people War is not included and why War is not included, I'm wrong because this character is great in War. Great. not disagreeing with anybody that says that. But the fact is, war is an end game mode. It takes 8 teams on defense and 8 to 12 teams on offense. That's a lot of roster building. And if you're doing that, you are building wide and not tall, and you are not clearing content in this game. No matter how many war credits you get, it will not make up for all the other things you're missing in this game. A misconception in this game is that the player base assumes that if you don't build war teams, you will lose every war. That is false. The only way you lose every war is if you and no one else in your alliance ever tries. If you give every war the same amount of effort and your alliance mates do the exact same thing, you will land at a 50% win rate no matter who you place on your war offense or war defense. And once again, that assumes you are trying. Like, you build up characters, you put the best characters you have available for offense, defense equally, that's where you're gonna land. You only truly start to win more when you're able to out-develop your roster to your opponent's roster. And the only way you're going to be able to do that, especially if you are a free-to-play player, is by getting every free resource in this game on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis over your opponents. War should be the luxury and fun mode after you completed all of their content in this game. So tomorrow, you guys will be getting Resource Management 2021, no regrets. This is going to be the top 20 characters that you will not regret investing resources into. It's the top 20 characters in the game by resource management standards. I'm telling you now, if you have not invested in one of these characters, especially in the top 10, I could almost guarantee you are struggling with a piece of content in this game. And then a few days later, you guys will be getting Resource Management 2021, The Trap. This is a remake of the characters that will slow your progression in this game. The first list I made was the top 20. This will actually be the top 40 characters. I've expanded it just because of a lot of ties when it came to scores that the characters have gotten. Other topics you expect to be covered in greater detail going forward, other than all the modes that I explained earlier, is ISO management, blitz, core efficiency, red stars, supply stores, orbs, alliances, war, and real-time arena. All other topics I'm expecting to cover at some point in this series. Now, as I release videos, and in case you guys are catching this one sometime down the road, a month later, 2 months later, there is going to be an eye in the corner screen with some of the videos, and there's going to be a video link in the description of this video to each different video I've made in this series, including it being its own playlist. But guys, yes, this is the prologue. It's more explaining what the series is going to be about, so I don't have to do it in the videos, because one of the biggest complaints I got in the videos last year was that I took too much time to explain before I got into the list, and people just didn't enjoy that. So I figured I'd do all my explaining here, link this video and every single video I do forward in this series so people can get their explanation here, timestamps down below or in the line, you know. But I'm really hoping you guys enjoy this resource management series, because it is my baby, my flagship, the thing that I've spent hours into and days into and weeks and months, a lot of time into developing, a lot of research. Everything in this series is not subjective. I want to be very, very clear with that. Nothing is here subjective. Every information I give to you guys in this series was pulled from the community. It's not based on my bias. It's information put by the community. And if you want to be a part of supplying the information that I get for this series, join my Discord. Share with me the characters you clear challenges with, the characters you cleared nodes with, especially like Doom War, like any of the character specific nodes. I'm always looking for the most efficient clear. And with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know it's not very informative, it's more vague. I'm sorry it has to be that way, but unfortunately I do not want to spend a long time explaining the future. But if you guys want to do me a huge favor, after you hit that like button, if I have helped you in any way in this game, please leave your story down in the comments down below. I would love to have those stories and be able to share them sometime in the future. And it's nice to be able to just go to one video to find them and not have to like search an archive of videos. But anyways, guys, if you're new here, don't forget that subscribe button. And if you do not want to miss anything in Resource Management 2021, don't forget that notification bell. And with all that said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye. Now, about 6 months ago, I made 15 characters you will not regret investing as part of Resource Management 101. Now, out of those 15 characters, I can tell you 4 of them do not make the top 20 anymore. So who are the 4 characters you think did not make the cut?